Defeat in the modern era stems from internal distraction. While external environments shift rapidly, the primary struggle is managing the crookedness of spirit that occurs when our focus slackens and our emotional reactivity takes over. Stress is often met with temporary hacks or productivity shortcuts, but these narrow habits only work when conditions are favorable. True composure requires a structural foundation that remains stable when the raw pressure of reality increases. In 1645, Miyamoto Musashi distilled 60 undefeated duels into a treatise on strategy called the Book of Five Rings. Written while sequestered in a cave at the end of his life, the text provides a blueprint for mastering the self to effectively navigate the chaos of the world. Musashi's central premise is that a warrior spirit must remain unchanged by distance or intensity. Absolute internal control is the mandatory prerequisite for surviving external pressures. The Earth Scroll establishes the doctrine of discipline. It focuses on the tangible, repeatable basics, the ground of strategy. Musashi emphasizes that mastery begins with unglamorous repetition and the maintenance of one's professional tools. He frames this as a straight road. By understanding one thing, you understand 10,000. The Water Scroll introduces the fluid mind. Water conforms to its container, yet erodes stone. A strategist mind is neither drawn too tight nor allowed to slacken. Rigidity leads to failure. Musashi warns that fixation is the way to death, as it limits your ability to respond to the world as it actually is. Fluidity allows for a presence that is indistinguishable from one's everyday conduct. This requires a specific spiritual bearing. Your temperament in a life-or-death struggle should be identical to your temperament in normal life, determined though calm. The structural discipline of the Earth Scroll provides the base that makes this adaptability possible. Without a stable foundation, fluidity becomes mere indecision. With it, you can shift your angle and speed as conditions change. The Fire Scroll addresses the heat of battle through the cold calculation of tempo. It is the mastery of timing, focusing on seizing the initiative to break an opponent's rhythm and collapse their decision-making capacity. Musashi describes this as holding down the pillow. By perceiving an opponent's intent at the level of thought, you thwart their very first impulse. You intervene before it becomes a completed action. The Wind Scroll serves as a critique of other styles. Musashi warns against being swept away by indoor techniques, those flashy, narrow habits that only work in controlled environments or satisfy the ego. The objective is to shed the non-essential. By dropping stylistic artifice and focusing on the hundreds of incremental improvements to basic habits, the practitioner reaches a state where action becomes spontaneous and unforced. The final stage is the Void Scroll, or ultimate emptiness. This is not a void of nothingness, but a clear mirror. It is the ability to look at chaos without letting it dye the color of your thoughts, removing the noise of personal judgment. A mind wiped of bias and fear perceives the totality of the environment. In this state, victory becomes a natural extension of one's own character, leading to perfectly timed, effortless action. To apply the Earth Scroll, identify the 3 non-negotiable fundamentals of your professional role, the technical basics that must hold under extreme pressure. This foundation allows you to use the Water Scroll's stance of ants, pivoting without losing your center when external project boundaries shift. Using the Fire Scroll means intercepting impulses and holding down the pillow of your own distractions before they break your focus. The Wind Scroll is applied by ruthlessly filtering out silver bullet trends that offer complexity without foundational efficacy. Mastery is the continuous polishing of the spirit. It is not an inherent trait, but a product of daily practice that transforms difficult tasks into ordinary affairs through steady follow-through. Strategy is not found in the theory of the scrolls, but in the transition from knowledge to lived practice. One must study hard until there is not one thing they cannot see. The 5 rings provide a framework for navigating an unforeseen world. When the mind is as adaptable as water, and the foundation is as stable as earth, the most effective response to chaos is a steady, unshakable self.